was one of the four. We owned the southern end of the island where we first met. We hadn't cleared all of our land, but ich habe irgendwie so Probleme mit so großen Wörtern im Englischen, ich weiß auch nicht warum. But we had a large enough farm that we could grow the food we needed and sell some at market. I didn't know that the island's population was so small so recently. I knew that the tourism could grow a population, but so quickly. Did you go to school on the mainland then? Once in a while. When we took the ferry over to sell our produce, we would spend a few days in the school being tested. But most of the time we were homeschooled. Mama would teach us reading and writing, and Papa would teach us math and things. At least before they died. With this, her smile went away. It was obvious that this was a hard subject for her to talk about. I dropped the subject. It looked like, ja, ist eigentlich, ja, wenn es unangenehm ist, würde ich auch nicht so reden. It looked like if I asked her to continue, she would break out in tears. So I decided to let it go and instead just started walking down the beach again. I don't know how much time passed until we spoke again. Maybe it was an hour, maybe less, maybe longer. We slowly made our way around the island, with me walking a few feet behind her. If it had been someone else, I probably would have taken my leave and headed back for home. But there was something about this girl that made me want to stay with her. An aura of some sort. Of beauty, of tragedy, ja, glaub schon. Of loneliness. Gibt's da nicht eine Creepypasta? Hier, Pokémon Creepypasta. Also, loneliness falsch geschrieben. Da hab ich irgendwie am hochgelernt, ne? Perhaps some combination of all of them and more. And so we kept silently walking down the Moonlight beach. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore, and I tried once again to strike up a conversation. Oh. So. Lass was trinken. So, is there anything you want to do before life? For a few seconds, she said nothing, as if I had said something wrong. But then she began to she began to speak. Once I thought I knew. When I was younger, it was like my life was planned out for me already. I would follow in my mother's footsteps. I'd help out on the farm for a few years. Even when we were young, we had course, keine Ahnung. But when we finished our schooling, we could help out even more. Eventually, I'd meet a nice boy. I didn't know who at the time. Thinking back, it probably would have been one of the Miller boys. They were around my age. We would get married and start a farm of our own. We'd raise a family together. A few girls, and I always wanted a boy because all I had was sisters, verdammt nochmal. Oh, verlege mich ständig. Die Schrift ist doch nicht so klein, verdammt nochmal. So. Now, however, her smile vanished as she led a through trail of after a while she changed the subject back to me. What about you? What do you plan to do in the future? The question took me a little off guard. both because I wasn't expecting her to ask me the same thing, and because I'd never really thought much about my future. She smiled at a little at my obvious confusion. Well, I'm spending this summer visiting my family. When it's over, I'll be going off to school. Aren't you a little old to still be in school? Well, state school. I'm going back to be attending a university in the fall. I don't know what I'll do after that. I don't even know what classes I'll be taking or exactly what my major will be. I figure that when I'm not at school, I'll be living with my parents for a while. Eventually, I'll get a job and move out. As to settling down and starting a family, well, I have no idea about when that's going to happen. Ah, I haven't really thought much about it yet. I don't think many people have their lives as well planned as you. I think most people are just sort of winning it. At that, she let out a quiet laugh. Is there something wrong with that? No, nothing at all. In fact, I think I envy you. Why? Well, you can do anything you want with your life. You can go anywhere you want. Some people would think that having too many choices is some sort of curse or a burden. But I think it's just freedom, and that's a good thing. I think it's nice to live a life where your future's open, where you can do anything you want. Once again, I didn't know what to say, and for a second I thought we'd go back to walking in silence. But instead of letting the conversation falter, she kept it going. What do you do for fun? Lots of things. I like drawing, listening to music, and watching cartoons and football on TV. Football? She repeated the term slowly, as if she knew both words, but had never heard them together in that way before. Yeah, football. No, sport. You've heard of it, right? She shook her head to indicate that she hadn't. How can I begin to describe it? There are two teams on the field at once, and one of them has the ball. The center hikes the ball onto the quarterback. The quarterback can either throw the ball to another player, hand it to another guy, or try to run with it. Everything I said seemed to confuse her even more, but I didn't know what else to do, so I just kept on going. The other team tries to stop them by tackling the player with the ball. If they can't move the ball 10 yards in 4 downs, then the other team gets it. It was around this part of my explanation that she broke out giggling. Now that I look back on it, my explanation was sort of absurd. And so we passed the night talking about things. Mostly I talked and she listened. Sometimes she would ask me questions, and I would answer them as best I could. Many times that wouldn't be good enough, and she would break out laughing as I fumbled through another explanation. We spent the rest of the night like this, talking and laughing as we made our way around the island. By dawn they had made it almost all the way around the island, to a cliff not far from where we had first met. The girl started to climb back down to the beach below, but I stopped her. I thought we could stay here and watch the sun come up. To my surprise, her reaction to my explanation was one of shock. Is sunrise already? I have to be going. This came as a surprise to me. We had been getting along well, and now she was about to run off. She must have seen the disappointment on my face, as she changed her tone as she elaborated. It's not you I like. It's just that I can't. I understand, I said, not really understanding anything. As she started walking away, I searched my mind to see if there was anything I could say to keep her there just a little longer. Suddenly, I realized that there was something I had forgotten to ask her. Scheiße. When can I see her again? I realized I didn't know when I could see her again. Without knowing that, I'd probably never see her again. She paused for a second, thinking, and then finally told me. You can meet me again on the night of the next full moon. The next full moon? It's not for almost a month. Can't we meet before then? I'm sorry, that's just the next time. I understand, I'll be there where we first met. The moment the sun cleared the horizon, its brilliance blinded me, and I closed my eyes. Ich kann das nicht aussprechen. Sorry. I've seen the sunrise many times before and since, but I've never seen it as bright as it was that time. When I opened my eyes again, the girl was gone. I didn't know why she went, how she had left so quickly, or where she had gotten off to. The one thing I didn't know was that I wanted to meet her again. It takes 29 days for the moon to go from full to new to full again, and that's how long I had to wait before I could see her again. It would have made for a really good story if I could have said I spent that entire time thinking about her, but that's not the way life works. I'm sure I did other things that month, but looking back I can hardly remember them. I did spend quite a bit of time thinking about her, remembering her smile and her laugh, kicking myself to forgetting to ask her name, constantly checking and rechecking the exact moment of the full moon to be sure that I showed up on the right night. Finally, it was that night, and I found myself once again standing out on the beach, looking up at the moon. "Where are you waiting long?" I turned and found her standing next to me. "I wasn't really expecting you to be here. It's rare that I get to see someone a second time." "Hey, I said I was going to be here, didn't I?" "You did." I'm the type of guy who keeps his word. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'll be there. Besides, guy would have to be crazy not to come back to see you again. Or did you not hear what I say? You left in an awful hurry last time. I didn't even get a chance to ask your name." "Mary." "It's Mary Harper." "Well, Mary Harper, it's good to see you again after almost an entire month." "It's good to see you too, but for me it feels like we were together only yesterday." I didn't exactly pick up what she was saying here, so I just said what I think I was thinking before. "I think it was the same way for me. I spent the entire month thinking about you." "I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but that's sweet." I didn't know what to say after that, and so I didn't say anything. Instead, I simply motioned down the beach, and they started walking together down the shore. It wasn't long before Mary broke the silence by asking me a question. "I told you a little about my family, but I haven't asked you about yours yet. What's your family like?" When I'm on the island here, I live with my aunt and uncle, but back home I live with my mother, father and sister.